White.
So we think you're going to love this next film.
Yeah, Andy Kershaw's been to Dorset to follow in the tyre tracks of a motorcycling trailblazer.
The name of T.E. Lawrence, better known as Lawrence of Arabia, will live forever, partly due to a cinematic masterpiece. The movie opens with a tragic motorcycle crash. I'm riding on the very roads where Lawrence was killed in 1935, and where a memorial stands to this man who made his name through his exploits in the Middle East during World War I. I must say, the memorial scarcely befits the man. His accidents here only enhanced the mythology and the legend of Lawrence of Arabia, and it also immortalised the motorcycle he was riding that day, the SS-100 Brough Superior. This wasn't just any motorcycle. Built by eccentric inventor George Brough, these were the fastest and most expensive bikes in the world, and each was sold with a certificate guaranteeing it had been timed at 100 miles per hour. But what really made the Brough special was that each one was custom built to its owner's specifications, ensuring that bike and rider were perfectly matched. T.E. Lawrence bought a series of Broughs, each one affectionately referred to as George. He kept them at Clouds Hill in Dorset, his home for the last years of his life. Teresa Jenkins Teague is a curator there. What so attracted him to Broughs?
His love of speed was something that was vitally important to Lawrence, and I think it was a way of Lawrence being able to find his lifeline, as it were, through speed, you know, because it was a way of feeling alive.
It was life-affirming going fast on
I think so,
on a
yes.
Brough.
I think so.
This is the only known photograph of Lawrence on the Brough Superior he was riding that fateful day. It was the seventh one he'd owned, which is why he called it George the Seventh, and it was, of course, ultimately his undoing. The bike survived and is now owned by a private collector. It's very rarely seen, but I've been given special permission to get up close and personal with it. Oh boy, there it is. GW 2275. Lawrence of Arabia's last Brough Superior. Well, I'm thrilled to meet you. Barry Wooding is an expert on Broughs. And each one was hand-built, wasn't it?
Yes, this one was actually tailor-made for T. Lawrence. They would have been £170
When Lawrence
in
bought
the
this
30s. £170 would have bought you a very nice, very, very nice house.
After Lawrence died, the nation went into mourning for the man they considered a hero. His death, however, also coincided with the decline of the Brough Superior. Just 10 years later, the Brough stopped being produced. It was the end of a legend. Or so we thought, but there's a twist in this story. In 2008, two fans started manufacturing new Broughs based on the original models, but constructed from all new components. Eric Patterson is a long-standing Brough rider. Eric, this is beautiful. It's been recently built, but it's a replica of which Brough?
The SS-100, which was raced in the 20s and 30s.
So this is the same era as when Lawrence of Arabia had his Broughs?
Yes, this is a copy of what it would have been like. I broke the records 4 times with it. Best we've had out of is 127.
Well, I'm certainly not going to be breaking any records today. What the brakes like?
Holy spectacular!
It's a rigid frame, no shock absorbers. It's astonishingly uncomfortable. Oh, it's wonderful. For me, Brough motorcycles, past and present, embody the same qualities Lawrence had. Charismatic, daring, just a little bit reckless, and British to the core.
Thank you very much, Andy. Now, these days, when